So guys, the Due Parenting Pod is here.
The things people didn't tell us that we found out by ourselves. The good, the bad, the scary, the ugly, and the exciting. So it's called Due Parenting Pod. Don't forget that.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, that we bought that. Then what else did we spend our money on? Oh yes, clothes. Kids always grow
sharp
fast. So the first when they come out from the
that newborn sizing, please don't buy too many.
Don't buy too many.
Just few.
You'll be shocked in 3 weeks. Yeah,
just enough that you say okay, you can wear. In fact, I can't remember how many.
Count 10. I think it was the second child.
I use my sense.
So
I use my sense that was
literally counted. You need like 10. Buy only 10 because maybe 2 or 3 a day for XY number of weeks.
Yes.
Because
the ones that you should have more of are the 1 month,
3 months. Yeah.
As in by the time you 1 month, then 3 months, then you can those ones you can have more. But that newborn is a scam. By the time they start eating shoes.
Just for
shoes are a scam. Shoes, infant shoes are a scam.
See, they're practically some of them are more expensive than adult shoes. I'm like, what's going on?
So if you're buying, if you can even rent for photo shoots, please, if you need, I will gladly rent it out for photo shoots. But after that, there's no point. Are they walking? They're not walking. They are crawling, biting everything. They're not using the shoes. In fact, it was just a mess.
The parent satisfaction.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
That's also nice. But about finances, right?
Please, think it too.
Then what shocked you the most that you spent money on?
That you didn't think you'd have to spend money on, and then you ended up spending.
What shocked us the most?
One.
Because coming from a planner, what shocked us the most? What was that?
Was there anything that we thought that we didn't have?
I think
to buy
what
that
shocked me in America was just like I explained earlier, the breakdown. They're paying for things separately. So
that they didn't tell you about.
So it just felt like hidden charges.
So I argued a lot with some of because to be fair, you can negotiate some of the bills.
Okay.
So I think it was just like, why would you charge me $1,500 for a picture that you're not even there to give me? Or give my wife, not me.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so it was that. Then, I think it was that bill. I didn't expect it, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, we're lucky enough that everything that we had planned for kind of stayed within
the
those
budget
ranges.
I think for me, I'm really trying to figure out what it was that shocked me the most. But I have to be very honest. Like when we had our first child, we had a lot of people. There was a lot of love from the family that we stayed with, and then the church. Man, I don't think we spent so much on but I didn't realize that we were going to need that many.
Much,
Was diapers. Was actually the diapers. There were so many and the different sizes, different age groups.
The thing is, people might, when we were trying to have, or when we were doing registry and people sending us diapers, don't find it insulting.
At all.
Receive that diaper
with joy.
With Jesus' joy.
Because you are going to need it. Funny enough, because all the diapers we got when we started getting gifts, it lasted until Kion was about 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months.
See, you have no idea how financially it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Savings, major savings.
It's fat slice out of your expenses.
So I think diaper would be one of the things I was so shocked I would spend so much money on, because I'm still spending money on diaper till now.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
We are still spending money on diaper till now. Then the other thing I would say was ridiculous. Why am I spending so much money on formula?
They must
because
make
the boy
money.
was downing that formula, one big formula in 3 days.
Yeah.
Done. I have to get another
It was
one.
a prayer point that our kid would take the less expensive formulas.
I remember this conversation with moms where I worked in the hospitals, and government. I work in a government hospital, and there are lots of moms. You know how it is that finances and everything, and they will say, "Doctor, I'm tired. I can't breastfeed this baby. I can't breastfeed." I said, "Oh." Do you have
the money?
Wait, now let me break it down to you. You will buy one tin of formula, 3,000 naira. How many days will it last you for? 3 days. So let's calculate it now. 30 days in a month. 10 cans of formula, 30K. So you will spend.
Looking at 90K.
That's an old price.
I think that's old pricing. No, that's old pricing. So I said that one is not We have not calculated the diaper. We have not calculated the wipes. We have not calculated.
Because you can't be tampering for the child.
Wipes. See, you will go through.
You've not calculated bathing
Cartons of
things
wipes.
that you will buy you. Your own food never join. How much money are you making in a month? I want to be spending 30K on one human being. That's just
and then
food alone.
and then if the
One
baby
item.
now happens to excuse me, have sensitive skin.
Yep.
So everything from their lotion to their
Soap.
bath soap.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're talking
you now be root.
self-tars,
Yeah.
toy sets.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I bless him.
Yes, yes.
But I have one question though. This does not apply to us because Keon hasn't gotten there yet. How much is your school fees? School fees.
Are we allowed to disclose? Is there
So-
anything
No, you
that-
just
don't mention any of the
mention the name of the school. Just tell us a range.
Yes,
range
between this and that.
Between this and this.
So school nowadays starts from creche, right? Or this is So I think for our first, because of the dynamics of going back to work, at the time we didn't have a live-in nanny. We had to do creche. So our daughter started creche at 7 months, right? So the creche was somewhere again. Thinking about logistics, obviously went to check a few that were near the house, so that in terms of drop off
And
it's on
pick
the
up,
way to
yeah.
work
And
and
then-
pick up. Same thing, at least for both
was
of
on the way
us.
to was close to home.
Was decent. So at least either way, the commute was easy. Because traffic, you have to plan that traffic
You
conversation.
must plan it.
Because those days there will be near misses of I'm running late. So you can again think about
And then
those.
time closure, as in closure
Closure time
times
as well.
for the crèche, because
So-
if you have one that is closing really early, it doesn't make
So
any
we had
sense.
to do at least, and the one our kids went to, so I think 6 p.m. was the standard closing.
Oh, okay.
However, if there were issues where you needed to come late, you
extend
charge you
to
1,000 naira per hour.
Okay,
But
that's
that, again,
actually
nobody
decent.
encourages that.
Yeah.
But that was again,
That was how many
8
years ago?
It was
No,
7,
that's what
8
I'm trying
years
to say.
ago.
That was actually decent.
Yeah. So ultimately, that informed the decision in terms of logistics, right? But also, we want to be sure the quality was there.
Yeah.
And most of these places, and interestingly, with our son, 3 years after, or maybe more than 3 years after, the pricing was still around the same
the
range.
same.
So we're looking at about between 50K, about 50K per
month.
quarter. Was it per month? So per month, rather. Per month. So it was 150K per quarter, right? So
Yeah.
you can assume that a term. And
Yeah.
some creches stay even during summer.
Oh, okay, cool.
Some creches would shut down because all schools have shut
shut
down
down.
for the long holiday or summer holiday.
But these ones were open.
working
They usually were open.
within the traditional school summer holidays because work doesn't go on holiday. so it was 150K every 3 months
every quarter,
effectively
yeah.
for that. Then the decision to go. So for our son, we took him to creche much later, and that was because lockdown came up
yeah.
as well when it was meant to start, but also because we then had a living nanny. So we said, you know what, just stay
Yeah.
At
at home. And one of the things that we found was with our daughter, who started creche much earlier, she was sick much more. So there were hospital admissions that we had to do with her. But my son didn't have that because he wasn't as exposed
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
sources of infection outside
That
the
early.
house. So I don't think we ever had admissions for. If we also time where we almost had, but thank God for a pediatrician wife.
this guy-
So I'll take
Steady on call.
I'll take care of him at home. He had set an IV line. She does that for a
Shooting the
living,
boy
right? So
with
she did it at
shooting the
home.
boy with his medication at home.
Yeah. So compared to our first, it was a fraction
Of what the
time
expenses
spent
were.
to hospital.
Shaitan and hospital, they just. But that's the interesting thing. Now she's
hardly ever, yeah.
Okay, so apart from school fees, are there other things you pay for?
So I didn't even finish the school fees element. So
Oh,
nursery and primary, because we see, creche.
Creche, okay.
So
Nursery,
we have one in nursery right now. We have one in primary, right? So of course, first term is always the worst because then it has development fee,
levies
all the
and
levies
all of
and
that.
whatnot that you pay upfront.
Oh,
so the
boy.
first term is always
heat.
The first term is the deepest.
effectively because not only are you paying for school fees, you're also buying school
Uniforms.
then
Extracurricular,
accessories.
everything.
Wait, did you say bags?
For
back
us,
to
it's
school.
plural.
You buy the bags from market or you buy it from
No, not
No,
from
from
market. Obviously, buy
market
yourself.
or
Obviously.
wherever you want to
Obviously,
buy from.
backpack.
No,
I just wanted
So the
to
school
be
is
there.
just. So in terms of nursery fees, so of course, the development fees depend on the school. Some charge you 100K, 200K for the year, right? Some you pay a PTA, depend on your PTA levy. Some you get like with 50 and 100K, depends on the school.
School bus.
The school bus.
They don't
there's
have
a part of the
enough
school.
for
We don't
enough
do school
school
bus
bus.
right now. Our school, we're trying to figure that out.
Not yet.
But ultimately, your school fees itself for the education, which you pay every term, for nursery is in the range of 200 to 50K per term.
Yeah.
Right? For this kind of school we take our kids to. For primary, it's about between 300 and 350K per term. So again, I mean, this is a range, but that's what we currently do,
Okay.
right, per term for them. Now, for extracurricular activities, the school comes with options that are free, right?
Okay.
They have a wide array of activities that you can then choose extra, but some of them will be paid.
Aha.
So you're paying like 25,000 per term,
term.
for some of for the category of activities that require payment. So example could be swimming. So typically our school, our kids' school, have swimming as part of the curriculum.
Nice.
So they swim, at least each class has a day. We're then doing a swimming club, which is then extra
More
activities
often.
for swimming. Of course, you have karate, you have
There are many,
football, basketball,
many
activities. To be fair,
gymnastics,
there's sports, but also things
ballet,
like STEM, so technology, coding, whatever. Things like etiquette, things like diction.
language.
So those options are
It's
there.
your money.
So ultimately, these are the primary costs of any school. Where I mentioned earlier, talking about the kind of school bags, school shoes, socks, uniforms. So all those also add up. If you choose to then have extra activities at home, so for example, I'm trying to encourage our kids to be musical as well. So we pay
There's
for
an
a
extra.
music teacher who comes
Private tutor.
home twice a week.
Nice.
And then when we used to take when we used to take her to reading
Reading school,
club.
Reading club.
on
That
Saturdays.
was,
So
an
we
extra.
did try to do some of those extras. So we're looking at another 50 to 100K, depends on what activities you're paying above what is done in school. Right, so it depends.
What happened?
And at that point, though, to be fair, right, not everything needs to be paid for, because it's also a function of what resources you have available. It could be that maybe your church, you have a church that has some type of music there and it's either free, or you can do that. You have
plug into
family
that one.
members who are talented that can teach, or even you, if you are talented with some instruments that you can, then of course those kind of things, the things you will still have to do, and the investment will be time.
True.
Not money.
Yeah.
So, for example, we found a playground. Anyway, my daughter loved swimming, or loved water since she was crèche. She was less than a year. She loved the idea of playing water.
Inside water.
Before COVID and everything, there was some playground that had a pool. It would cost us 1,000 naira to enter. Really, so it wasn't the cost. It was just have to dedicate time to go there and
spend
have
the
that
time with her,
experience. So some of those things you would factor in. It would not be a function of money. It would be time. And again,
Or even
if you-
both.
both in some cases. So it could be time I could spend, in quotes, earning more money.
Yeah.
Depending on the kind of work that you do, but also it's important time to invest in your children. So that's where those points get to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was like you
Very-
can actually like do like an infomercial on how to
But again,
how to break it
disclaimer
down.
is that the
Yeah,
amounts
of course,
vary
yeah.
widely, depends
Yeah.
on your choice, your location.
Obviously,
and
there's some
all those
schools
things,
that are
yeah.
like 10 times.
No, it's enlightening. I mean, I'm thinking, which school will I send him to? First of all, we've always said we wanted 2 kids. So Keon and the second one that God will give us by God's grace.
Amen.
Then I've always said I wanted him to play an instrument. So definitely going to play an instrument. He's swimming. He's going to, because we cannot
I
swim.
can't swim.
So he has to know how to swim in our family. So it's
Let's
him.
break the-
So I mean, it would be nice to learn while he's learning as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what that's what I'll probably do.
Yeah.
He's ready. Oh, he's ready.
He's ready actually. He's actually ready.
No, I'm scared of taking him to the pool because I hear that they usually get the ear infection because of
infections.
water getting into their ear. And all that.
Well, it's a risk, but still, like, I mean, it can still happen. Even if you were a grown up and in the pool, you could still get it. So
Yeah,
it's a
infection.
risk. It's a risk. It's a risk.
But I've heard like kids, they teach like toddlers.
Oh, see, even
Yes,
newborns.
even infants, even
like,
newborns.
Yeah.
Because
mouth too.
the thought process is that they've been in water. They've
While
been
they
in
were
water.
just- while
Why
they
they
were
were
just
in there.
status.
So it's their habitat. But you know, the longer you're away from your habitat, from what you're used to, the more likely you won't be used to it
struggle,
anymore.
yeah.
Well, so that, I remember some people tell me. I'm just saying that some people that tell me that there are some groups in the south that They put the babies inside water, and babies start learning how to maneuver themselves inside the water.
You've seen those
Their
videos,
natural
right? They just
habitat.
put the baby and baby kind of
Float
comes back
or
and
pops up.
floats,
Yes.
right? Because it's a life skill. So I think that's the idea. Of course, most of our parents were very scared and are still very scared. Don't go to the
Don't
beach.
go to
Don't
the
go to
water.
Joe. So it's that place where
But it's true.
So, but okay, I wanted to also ask you guys that have toddlers. All this after pregnancy, like immunization, all those blah blah. Is it free by the government? Or is it
So she's asking, I don't know if you can okay. The question is if because after Kion was born, we had to do immunization and all the other free by what government?
But please let me.
There are some.
So
There are
there's
some.
somebody that
but-
yeah.
but-
No,
it depends,
no,
though.
baby.
It
We went to a
depends.
private hospital, so it wasn't free.
Yeah, so
went
for-
pay.
No,
See,
but it was
if-
because it was a private hospital.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
was
mean, if you
going
go to a public
yeah.
health facility, they are
It's
free.
just They are free.
They at least,
Yeah.
but the
Private.
thing, yeah, but private they will charge.
But this year, we had the sense to go and do HMO. So the money has come
So, but
back.
there's, because there are some things that you will still pay for
Yeah,
that your
yeah.
insurance does not cover. So
yes,
it's so
true,
Yeah.
true.
I guess even with insurance, there are different categories, right?
No, so we got like, was it platinum or whatever?
Gold. We got gold.
Uh-huh.
So there's one
So
more.
there's
Got
some
him
things
for gold,
uh-huh.
yeah.
I guess to be fair, the everyday things that will be covered.
Yeah.
It's really more serious
Yeah.
things that again one has to pray that those things
Yeah.
will come up.
Don't
But
come
yeah.
up, yeah.
Yeah, but just they are a blessing. Don't think twice. So see, God will provide that money as you have picking like this. God, the money is coming. So don't think that the money is plenty. Go and have the child.
Please, if you don't have money, you don't have children. Repeat what I said.
Don't think that God will not provide the money.
So, but on that
So
point,
Chidinma is trying to, what
But
Chidinma
there's
is
a point.
saying,
There's actually
before
a
she
point to
rushes
what
here
I'm
to come and
saying.
shout it.
There's a point. There's a
So
point.
it's
Tell
a
me
valid
number,
point.
Yeah.
It's a valid
timing.
point. So just have a plan. If you're not financially ready to have a baby and take care and provide for a baby, then don't rush into it. However, what I will say is, even when you feel like you're financially ready, there just could be random things that will pop up that you didn't plan for. And that's where, the
I'm coming from.
optimism pops in. So you just know that, okay, you've been through worse. You've been in situations where you
Like,
didn't think you could.
For example, that's what you said. You didn't think you were going to be able to afford
Yeah.
you guys going to, but
Yeah.
it came.
Yeah,
And it happened.
but on that, I get the point because I'm also, like I said, I don't like to be too optimistic. I don't like surprises.
Same here.
But if I were to synthesize the conversation to say that some practical steps that can be taken,
Exactly.
part of your planning. So get health insurance, for example.
Very
It
important.
is cheaper to
Very
pay
important.
maybe 2,000 naira,
Uh-huh.
5,000 naira monthly, even if you don't use it.
Yeah.
Because when you need it,
Yeah.
it will make,
It will make
available.
sense.
more sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will
So
make
that's
sense.
a practical step. So even if you're ready to have kids yet, get on it
Yeah.
and add so for example, the one I have, added my kids. Of course, you pay a bit more for each person you
Yeah.
add, but again, it is far cheaper.
It's to say,
Then having
And
to
it's
sort
better
it out.
to have
pay
it and not
pay
need
for
it than
card,
to need it and not
pay
have
for
it.
this one. It's very rarely that we've had to pay for things out of pocket.
Yeah.
It's very rarely, right? So I think that's some practicality.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like as they grow up, like when Shaita was always, in and out of hospital and having to be admitted, I can imagine what those costs would have
Yeah,
been
that'd be
like
crazy to
if
pay out of pocket, yeah.
we're paying out of pocket. So all those things factored in. It's the best, one of the best things you can do
Get
for
health
yourself,
insurance.
even before you even marry, before you even say you want to have children, is have a health insurance plan. Have
There are many
one.
options, right? So
one.
yeah, absolutely.
So, question is because you guys already have kids, 7 and 4.
Well, 3 going 4.
Three
no.
going to
He
4.
insists
And
it's
5
4.
going to 6.
He insists it's 4.
Who is 5 going to 6?
Shaitan is 6 going to 7.
6 going to 7.
It's hard. Please don't.
You're trying to make him feel bad
I'm
right now.
like, no, it's not that. I just like, isn't she's growing up too
She's
fast.
growing.
Anyway, I wanted to ask, what plans did you have for savings for your kids?
Good question. So I think initially my mind was, when we get there, we'll get there. Because there are immediate needs. We need to pay rent, you need to do this, do that, right? But there's so much wisdom, if you understand compound interest.
Yeah.
Right? And particularly going back to budgeting and being disciplined, because similar to the health insurance conversation, that might be small amounts
Yeah. But
today,
over time.
but over time, and you're looking at something that you'd investing for years, because if you're talking about an education plan, usually it's focused around the university education.
So like an 15 to 18
So
year
usually,
plan.
I think ultimately, and different people have different approaches to this, but I think the fundamental, generally, it's about savings. Now you can decide to be deliberate to say, this is purely for education.
Okay.
This is purely for travel. This is purely for whatever
Trust
it
funds,
is.
whatever
But
you want to do with
ultimately,
it later.
Yeah, and the various products that various companies have that help you be disciplined
Structure
to
that.
do so. So it becomes, what is my vision for my child? Do I want my child to go to a
An Ivy
top
League
tier
school,
school, right, in whatever country? Numbers are real. Now consider effects and consider. So you want to say, okay, let me start planning and saving. Of course, people can then say, what if emergencies happen? Yeah, you would. But the point is discipline. So for us as well, there's elements where actually she's even better than that than me. So when we get gifts, our grandparents just come Christmas, take money.
Go and buy stock, buy
put it in mutual
anything,
funds,
put it in
and it's
funds,
for them.
whatever.
That is, you just put it there. So,
Yeah.
because the gifts are gifts, right? You didn't plan, not income.
Exactly.
Why should you just spend it? So, like, you know, any gifts, at least for them, go straight to
Funds.
savings fund for, I guess,
Whatever.
for them, and whatever it is. So that's their philosophy generally.
Okay, we're learning. We're learning.
People are not doing like our parents. Like, bring it, let me keep for you.
Go spend them
we're
now.
keeping it for ours, keeping it in
But,
the fund.
but they're actually keeping it for them.
Yeah, we're actually keeping it for them. We're not doing like our parents. Bring it, let me keep it for you and put the money in your pocket.
So I think on
I
that-
had
on
a
that-
piggy
I'm
bank.
going to say that on that point actually, because also teaching them. So when I
I
bought
bought it too.
a polo.
That mic,
Exactly.
that micro
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so
For yourself?
No,
for
my
Sheta.
daughter. Sorry. Okay, sorry.
for
For
example,
we bought a box
Yeah.
with a hole.
Yeah,
Only
so
one
like,
hole.
that's-
Put
yeah.
money inside.
In only, no out.
No out.
So literally over the holidays, when the grandparents came,
She'll
went
bring
to
it
work, she'll bring
downstairs
down,
and give it to her
they'll roll
grandparents to
money
put
and
the
put it
money
there.
inside.
So she's understanding that, okay,
This
you
is
save
saved,
It's
yeah.
over
towards
time.
something, and it will be over time. And that's, I guess, one of the things we're trying to use that.
Yeah.
As a
Interestingly,
lesson
we
for her.
started off telling her that if she saved enough, it will be enough to buy pizza. And she loves pizza. So like she just started putting money inside, and she'll say, let's break it so that they'll. I said, no, it's not enough.
Yes. Oh.
So now I think our dreams are bigger now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this.
Yeah. There's birthday.
Please.
I think she was having a themed party or something.
No,
like
it's
that.
not even just that. Yeah, and she will tell you. She'll say she wants an inflatable, what they call it,
Bouncing
PlayStation
castle.
bouncing castle.
Come
She
on.
wants her friends. She has listed the friends that should come for the party. She wants to send invitations.
Come
then,
on.
what else? She
Eve.
will
Party pack.
Give.
Party pack.
No, she will write it
Hard
as
copy.
letter. Thank God, the school they are teaching them how to write letters. So
great.
she's using it to write invitations. So she now color it. She'll color it.
cute.
Then wants to do that one. Then presents. These presents are always changing. But we'll share one. By the time birthday is approaching, she will tell us the final one.
Yeah.
Well, she's set. Like she just keeps.
I hope I can
set.
refine her thinking.
Before
Because
that,
because let's be guided.
Ah,
I think
she's set.
I think the last time.
The thing I'm using to celebrate is that his kuku is on a weekday. So we'll just go and do the school one.
yeah, that
Come
one.
back to-
But on that point, though, you know there's peer pressure in schools.
I beg.
Oh, party- that's why I said
Peer
party
pressure.
pack earlier.
Yeah.
Hey, because
See.
And does peer pressure affect the parents?
It's the parents that have peer pressure.
Yes. now.
See, let's just be
Look at this girl.
like, it's everybody. Like, I can imagine, I think, when we were growing up, there was that awareness
Yes,
of what
just a drink and
even the
biscuits and
food you're
pencil.
carrying to school, you
Or-
have awareness that some people will, so you
Yes.
won't want to eat it.
Yes.
No, the children feel it, but maybe at this point in time, like maybe because she's still quite young, she might not feel it as acutely as if she was old and,
But the parents.
But the parents, of course, now by the
Some
time they
parents-
bring it to your house, you see the
Some parents are
nice
professional
package.
parents.
Like, can I
Serious,
can I do
professional
this?
parents? Because I guess to be fair, and not to be inconsiderate or be irresponsible with my statements. Point is, people are more deliberate, let's put it that way, which is a good thing.
It's good.
You have some full-time parents
Yes,
who are a
yes.
bit more deliberate
Yeah.
and are a bit more creative with options and time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad sometimes we can attend every meeting or every play or every. Thank God for options that you can dial in and watch.
and watch on.
Or some
yeah.
parent that's there making a video and sending to the parents group.
Oh,
Thank you. God bless you. But some of them are a bit more
hands-on, like intentional about
in terms
doing
of
that.
the gifts for party packs, and some of them would just go beyond gifts for the kids. They also make gifts for teachers. I'm like, why the pressure?
No.
No, but in my mind, I'm like, if you want to feel pressure, you feel pressure.
No,
If
I'm
you don't
not
want to
saying
feel the
generally,
pressure,
right?
you
But
just
I mean,
close your eye.
what's that?
Close your eye.
Was that-
Because I remember when I was in school. Sorry, when I was in primary school. So I had this classmate. I wonder where she is now. And how obviously they had dough, like they were stacked. And every time, like every Monday, right? Yeah, I think it was every Monday. This was like primary 3. Every Monday, her mom, normally the driver would come and drop her off, right? But on Mondays, her mother would come herself and then make sure that she waits so that she would come to the class after assembly to say hello to our teacher. And every time
A
she came to
loaded
hello, it
hello.
was always with a hamper.
A loaded
So
hello.
of course, she was teacher's pet.
Why not?
And she was class captain, and she must write our name. So if you're not in her good books, then you'll be on the book. You will be in the black. She must put your name on that list of noisemakers and you collect from.
And
That's too much power.
times 10.
Now.
And
That one is
you
too
now
much
put
power.
asterisk beside your name. Hey God!
But that one is too much power. Now.
It was like, I mean, at that age,
Yeah,
I mean, in primary
to
3,
be
you're like
fair,
what?
I think
6?
you will find that in every setting.
Ah, man.
There's always, so as adults might be,
Yeah.
you someone's having a party on the yacht.
Yeah,
in
and
some
then you're
nice
doing
island.
in your compound.
It happens every day. And I think to my right
In the
point
dog
is
in
who
Dubai.
lets it affect them. And some of the things are great to do and to aspire towards.
Sorry, Deji. I had
He
to.
has spoiled it.
I'm so sorry.
I cannot just
Now you
get
cannot
out
unsee it.
this-
I mean, I mean, just imagine some of Shaitan's classmates' parents doing birthday on a yacht
Don't say it.
In a tongue.
in a dog in Dubai. Exactly.
So back to serious points. So I think at the end of the day, right, it's just, I think most one thing we're concerned about is the child. Some children may feel bad that, somebody's
person's mom,
birthday
yeah.
the week before. And children just say things freely.
Yes, they don't
her party
intend
pack was
to.
better than your party pack.
Don't mean
Some will
anything.
say, are your parents poor? It might not mean that they're trying to
They're
hurt
actually
you.
curious. They want
Just-
to know.
So it's about ultimately then still nurturing and building up your child's contentment,
Yes.
self-confidence, and all those things, right? You can't control everybody else. So ultimately it's about, okay, what can you afford? What makes everybody happy? What makes you happy? And move on.
Man.
Godliness with contentment.
So as we have heard and learned, is cost. Having babies is a lot of commitment and different types of commitment. And one of the most important types of commitment is financial. So, guys, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. After Kion arrived, there were, as she said, gigs that you didn't think that you qualified for or you were capable of handling. They came, like, cash flow has actually improved, right? But don't calculate based on money that you have not have. You get. So if you're not earning the money, just budget and plan based on what you can afford, and then think long term, and then take smart. Get information. Based on information, you can make smart decisions, and get insurance.
Yeah.
Like Deji said that he did it in a way that let's say he wanted to travel in July. And then January,
Just
from his
plan
salary, he
really
will
early.
buy tickets. February, from his salary, he will pay for this. You can do that all the way through so that by the time you're ready to skip Nigeria to go and have the baby, everything
If I
is...
may, though, I
Yeah.
think it's also important to highlight that you don't have to travel.
Oh, yes,
don't have to
definitely.
So that,
definitely.
again, we don't people go. I know people have gone to take loans, and gone into trouble.
That's like taking a loan to go and
Yeah.
pay for your
Sink
wedding.
yourself.
Because you think that's the only option.
It's not wise,
Yeah.
though.
They're great. Do your research, basically.
They're
Do your
actually
research.
really good places
Great places in
here.
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Great doctors, like my wife, she's a great doctor. Talk to her.
Hey.
Just do your research and don't put yourself under too
We'll let
much
you know
pressure.
the name of our hospital very soon.
Yes, when she's ready.
Please, we're looking for. We're looking for.
So yes, look, for a friend of mine, Chidinma just said that maybe it's passports that But so for a friend of mine, we were talking about this a few days ago, and she said that the reason why she wanted to go and have her child in the US is because she had heard so many horror stories about her friends who had issues.
children in Nigeria.
Yes, And then
heard
she
my
got
own
over
story.
there and she kind of had some, it wasn't a bed of roses either. But it was after the baby had arrived, like a few days later, maybe a couple of weeks later or so, when her husband started to process the baby's passport, that it hit her that, this is actually, this comes, yeah. So for whatever reason, just as Deji said, just do your own research and then
Take a decision.
Yeah, take a decision and then follow it through. Thank you so much, guys. This has been another episode of the Due Parenting Pod. My name is Ibrahim.
My name is Ejiofor.
These are our beautiful guests, Deji and Tosin Amond. And we've talked about how, money is a factor in having and raising kids.
Yeah.
And we've not even reached the stage where we're paying for college. It is well.
Amen.
God bless you. Have a fantastic time. Please stay safe and be kind to one another.
Bye. Oh, don't forget, please comment, like, and share, and
all those things that YouTubers say.
And also, whatever you need to know, just send us a message across all our social media platforms at Due Parenting Pod, and we'll see what we can do about answering you guys.
We'll answer you.
Answer also.
We'll answer.
Answer us.
Thank you. Bye.